StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload, and this time it is a best of 5 between Stats and Dark from Katowice 2016 IEM World Championships. Game 1 will be on Proxima Station, and let's get right on into it. In the top right side of the map, we have the red Zerg player, Dark. And in the bottom left side of the map is his opponent, the blue Protoss player, Stats. Oh, one of the better Protoss players on Earth right now. Stats is just on fire. He is kicking trash and taking names. And Dark, on the other hand, a very scary Zerg player. On his own right, if I came up against him, as another Zerg, obviously I'd get rolled. But, I just feel like Terran players and Protoss players, the world round, just really don't want to play this guy right now. So I'm very interested to see how this is going to work out between these two players. Trying to block the hatch. No! Stats can't block the hatch first play out of Dark with his probe by like half of a second. That is what these games are, you guys. Comes down to like 0.5 seconds. Whether or not you're going to win or lose, Stats, by not blocking that hatchery, is probably going to lose this first game. And by that, I'm just kind of talking out of my behind because I don't know that. I don't know that. Anyway, Probe trying to steal some minerals, trying to block the placement of a spawning pool there. Can't quite do it. Just kind of running around, Mr. Probe, trying to see what is up. And it is that a Nexus first play? I believe that was a Nexus first play out of Stats. Oh, Stats. Stats feeling very confident here indeed. I guess if you see the hatch first from Zerg, there's no reason not to go Nexus first, you guys, Protoss players. Just do it. Just do it. There's no real way you can be punished. Especially on this map where you have the safe expansion. You can wall off at the front if you're super worried about like incredibly early lings. And the Zerg player can't do early lings. The hatch first slows down the completion of the spawning pool, which slows down the timing that the Zerglings are first made, and they're going to be slowlings, and it takes forever to get out across the map. I mean, look at this. Spawning pool just now finishing here at 2 minutes, and you have all the time in the world. Even still, you don't have to start walling off yet. I mean, it's not a problem. Dark, it did throw it on his third hatch in the back area. I get confused about this. When players go for that hatch first on the low ground on this map, I like to call it a third because it's kind of a third base location. Back behind the wall is often the natural for other players. So from now on, I'm going to call this the natural, this one here back behind the main, and the one in the front the third, just because I will get super confused and go back and forth otherwise. I think the game that I cast, there's a game that's coming up soon on Proxima Station. I think I'm casting these out of order right now, but it is on Proxima, and I totally get the third base and the natural base switched up back and forth all the time with the Zerg player based on this exact situation. So this is the third, and this is the natural, and that's enough of that. Stargate opening here out of Stats. There it is. Do we have Oracle names? We do have some Oracle names. You've been very nice in submitting some names for Oracles. You can do that just in the comments here of any video. Just go ahead and put that it's an Oracle name, and then a colon, and then your name with a backstory if you feel like it. If not, don't worry about it. We can come up with backstories on our own, or sometimes just not do it. So droning up here is Dark, sitting on 28. He's going to have 32 very soon, almost tying up Stats with 33. Chrono Boost is good, you guys. It's a really good ability. Helps you in this early game for sure. And the fact that the Zerg players only get 3 extra larvae per inject is causing slowdowns as well at this stage of the game. But again, Dark's used to it. Not like it's anything he hasn't dealt with before. He's not going to complain about this. And it is going to be an Oracle here from Stats. Dark, on the other hand, is throwing a Sloverlord in. Is he going to see the Stargate? I don't think he's going to be able to do it. But regardless, this Oracle's name is Doctor Who. Behold, the new and improved TARDIS. Oh, it's a TARDIS. It's all circular and updated and 2017-ish. It doesn't look like a phone booth anymore. Have to admit, you guys, I've watched a lot of Doctor Who in my day, all the way from the 2005 reboot up through, I want to say, 2014 or 15. I mean, it's all the way up. And then Peter Capaldi came along. He was just super angry all the time. And I was like, I really don't have much use for an angry doctor. And so I left. I haven't watched in a long time, which makes me kind of sad sometimes. But then I'm like, there's just so much excellent TV on. I don't know whether watching like good TV is something I can really do right now. So Oracle, Doctor Who here, trying to sneak around and kill Zerg, because apparently the Zerg are a giant threat to the universe. Pretty much probably worse than the Daleks, if you had to guess here. So swinging down and picking off one drone. But again, Spore Crawler Queen combination. It's enough. It's enough to hold off an Oracle. Zerg players, if you deal with this and you know there's an Oracle coming, or you suspect there's an Oracle coming, just get a single Spore Crawler in each of your mineral lines. Get a Queen to defend as well, and you'll be just fine. Lings have been trying to poke out this front door. Stats. The Stats is going for a third Nexus, but there are Adepts here, wonderful. Zealot here, wonderful. There's a Sentry here as well. It's just not going to happen for Zerglings. Stop trying to make attacks at the front door happen, Zerglings. So actually double Oracle here now. Double Oracle a little bit better than one. You really can't hold off losing like a lot of drones against 2 Oracles with just a Queen and a Spore Crawler. We'd have to see a little bit more than that out of a Zerg player. Look at this, not worrying about it. Like the Queen's hitting and they're, nope, say the Oracles. They almost take down a Queen. They take down a transferring drone. Wrong place, wrong time there. Banelings speed on the way from Dark. You know how I feel about Banelings. I'm just not going to say anything anymore. So third base here for Stats is complete. He's throwing down additional gateways. He's throwing down another Stargate, and he's getting a fleet beacon. 5.5-minute fleet beacon. Holy crap. All right, we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this works out. For Stats, he just feels very confident in being able to defend. If Dark came in with like a big Roach Ravager push off of 3 bases right now, I'm not sure what Stats would do, but he's waiting on the fleet beacon. He's getting +1 melee attack. He doesn't have anything really. He has a Void Ray, a Stalker, 2 Adepts, and a Zealot. Okay, and 2 Sentries. 2 Sentries. Double Oracle play here. Again, Tardis and his friend. I don't know what to name the other one. Does pick off a few more drones. 8 drones have been killed so far. 8 drones, 2 Lings, and 2 Overlords. And Stats has lost absolutely nothing in the first 6 minutes of this game. He's been fairly turtled up, right? Turtling up, using Oracles and Void Rays to do the damage just because the early Zerg doesn't really have a way to shut that down, right? Like you can repel. You can rebuff the attacks by these air units, but you can't really just make sure they never happen again. Unless you get a Spire, unless you get Hydras, and it's just hard to get those, you know, in the first 5 minutes of the game, especially if you're playing macro style. Revelation thrown down on an Overlord and a bunch of Zerglings. None of the Banelings are revealed, though, so that might be a problem for Stats down the road. We'll see how he does with it. Are those cannons? Yeah, cannons along this left side. He is really worried about Ling attacks. Super mega worried. All right, Dark's thrown down a 4th base at his gold right now. Has knocked down this debris. That blocks him from it normally, so it's gone wide open. And going for a quick hive. 7-minute hive out of Dark. Oh my gosh. All right, Dark feeling pretty good about things here. Oracle's trying to come into this main base, and they're picking off drones so well. I feel like they could kill the Queen if they wanted, but they're just being cautious. Just being cautious. 75 to 68 Harvesters. Dark is on 4 bases, looking strong, looking good, looking ready to rock. Getting +1 ground carapace as well. And it's Carrier and it's Mothership out of Stats. I mean, this is like the fastest Carrier Mothership I've ever seen in any of the games that I've ever cast. 7 minutes working on this stuff. Getting Resonating Glaives for Adepts, getting +2 air weapons. I mean, he's really going to be ready for this. A lot of Spore Crawlers coming in for Dark. Worried about this Carrier attack. He has a Spire on the way. I don't know if it's ready yet. 4th base coming up for Stats on this left side. There's not a lot that can defend this. The army here is a couple Carriers. Again, a couple Zealots. And just not a whole lot else here. For Stats, yeah, I'm going to say Ling's not a bad idea. Ling's going to try to sneak around and shut this thing down. They don't know that it's here, but based on the fact there was a Stasis Ward set up, kind of protecting it, it makes a lot of sense. Lings do have +1 attack, going to try to knock down this debris, but the Skytoss army is here to rebuff them. And Stats just kind of, again, just being calm, collected, cautious, not extending too far, not exerting himself too much. He just knows what to do in these situations. 5th base on the way from Dark along the right side. Again, no real way for Stats to punish this. Just doesn't have the army to come deal with it while protecting back home. 4th base warping in for Stats. Big deal right now. 4 bases for Skytoss is exactly what they want. Now it's going to be about being cost efficient. It's going to be about winning small engagements and small battles. Ultralisk Cavern on the way for Dark. Oh, I don't know if you want Ultras against Skytoss, man. Baneling's trying to roll in the front door of this 3rd base, but no. I think they killed a cannon. Yep, a cannon and a probe have died so far for Stats. 200 minerals lost for a Protoss player. 1,650 lost for Dark. So far, not looking so good. And here comes some Ling rain. Got some Speed Overlords with drop upgraded on them, heading for the main base. Dark is also going for a 6th base here to the left of his 5th along the right side. I mean, he's just taking this whole right side of the map as his very own right now. And here comes our drop Overlords. How did he know this was coming? All right, so 1 dies before it can even land. 2 dies before it can land. This Void Ray just destroying stuff. And a handful of Lings get in here and burrow. Right, so 5 of them are still alive. A big attack at the 4th, though. Lings go to town on this one. Oh, 11 dead. Probes, cannons dying as well. A bunch of adepts showing up trying to save it. They should be able to save it, which is very nice. But Corruptor's picking off a carrier here as well. I'm liking what Dark's doing here. And using Caustic Spray. Oh, on the main nexus of stats. I don't know if he can lose this thing. All the Void Rays and all the carriers are coming, and that's enough to make Dark to go leave. Okay, he didn't want to lose everything he had and maybe have a chance of taking down that nexus. So he retreated, kept his Corruptor count high instead of bringing it down to like 0. I think that was everyone that he had. Yeah, everyone that he had there. +3 melee attack and chitinous plating and Vipers coming in for Dark as well. Lings knocking down them pylons. Burrowing. Again, I like this burrow move that Dark has going. He's making ultras. Against carriers and Void Rays, ultras are faster, which is what they're pretty much going to have to rely on, the fact that they're faster. I don't know what else they can do. Are these Lings going to get revealed by these oracles? They have enough revelation. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. Waiting for the Lings to pop out again, perhaps. Oh, there it is. Wait, how did they... Is there an... Oh, Observer just popped out. Just barely, but went the opposite direction, so we didn't actually allow the Lings to be killed there, which is kind of funny. Banelings trying to roll into this 4th base, and they do! Oh, picking up some nice juicy probe hits, and then burrowing. The Banelings that don't have a cost-efficient hit decide instead to burrow, and at least make the Protoss player waste some detection on these to kill them, so I like that. I like that a lot. 6th base up for Dark, 5th base now on the way for stats, but guess who's here? Zerglings with +2 attack! And Adrenal Glands, not going to happen. Stats, you just know. Lings have too much DPS. There's the cancel on the 5th base. And a Pylon dies as well, and the Lings massacre most of themselves. 2 of them do manage to escape and burrow. I'm liking this burrow. I really enjoy this burrow very much from our Zerg player. So Corruptor count is currently 14. Upgrades are +1 on those dudes. I just don't know. Look at all these Spore Crawlers Dark has up at his 4th base, though. I don't know if you want to come in here, man. That's a lot of spores. Yeah, Skytoss Army has no interest in going there whatsoever. Ultras on this left side coming in to take down the 5th base here to kill some Adepts as well. While everyone's distracted by the Ultras, we also have some Lings coming in, but there are about 6 cannons versus 4 Zerglings. Not going to happen very well. One of the Ultras gets killed by the entire Skytoss Army alone. Lings trying to run on in. I love what Dark is doing here. Oh, free Templar. That Templar forced to be turned into Archons. And will they get killed by the Lings in time? One ends up getting destroyed, and the other one is still alive. Does end up popping up here with 100 shield. Ultralisk and Lings going to town on this 4th, getting rid of cannons, which make future attacks a little better, but that Ultra exploded a little bit too quickly. I mean, against cannons? Is that all that really was? I know Ultras were really good, you guys, but maybe it's time for a bit of a buff. Maybe a little tiny bit of a buff. 5th base on the way for stats. Army's protecting it this time. Absolutely protecting it this time. He just, he doesn't want it to fall. I guess he wants that 5th a little more than I thought he would. Lings trying to knock down the debris that protect stats from attacks from that gold base location here in the south. But Void Rays find this, not going to happen. Some Adepts trying to wander through the creep, but Ultralisks absolutely eat them for lunch, because it is lunchtime in this particular cast. Lings Ultra's back, going after that debris. The Void Ray moved on. I don't know why, but now the debris is gone, and now Dark has another additional way to get in here and harass this front door of stats. He's spreading creep as well. I love this. Lings getting inside, and oh, a lot of dead. Oh, the probes don't even get hit there. Adept attack at Dark's 5th base along the right side, forcing the retreat of all of those drones. Lings here trying to take down cannons. They do have the upgrades that allowed them to do this pretty well, but I'm not sure there are enough of them to actually finish those cannons off. A Warp Prism trying to run for its life as the Corruptors coming in to shut that thing down. 1 Corruptor actually coming in to shut it down. 3 Ultras sneaking up to the 5th base of stats, going after cannons. Cannons, you just don't hurt us very much. We currently have 5 armor, which is a lot, which is a whole lot of armor. So cannons gone, and yes, the Ultras will be killed at this point, but it's going to help future Lings. Can you burrow? Ultra, I think, trying to get into a place where it can burrow. Come on, do it. No, sneaking up. Oh, you know what? Pushing his friend's corpse around. That's not great. That's got to be a bad feeling, man. I don't know if I like that very much. And then trying to sneak back in, and there's the burrow. Oh, Ultra Burrow is such a weird animation. Gives me gibblies. That's what it does every time I see it. Adepts rolling around, trying to kill stuff at the 6th base of Dark, trying to kill stuff at the 5th base of Dark, and by that it means he's going to ignore both of those bases and come up this way. And where are you? I don't know. Wherever they're going, they just got met by about 30 Zerglings, and they're going to die with their backs against the wall. vision obscured by this high-rise building, but whatever. 84 to 72 harvesters right now. Dark has a lead 60, let's see, 7,900 resources lost by the Protoss, and 1,200 lost by Dark. Is that 12,000? That's 12,000 lost by Dark. That's a lot. That is a lot by Dark. But again, he's Zerg. He can afford to do it. 6th base on the way by Stats. Up in the top left side, Dark. I don't know, man. You're just going to let the Protoss player mine out this entire map while going Sky Toss? Doesn't seem particularly wonderful. +3 attack done for the Archons. +3 attack done for the air units for Stats as well. Dark is doing some really cute harassment here. I just don't know if it's doing enough, I guess. He hasn't killed a base. He did force a cancel on the 5th base, but that's been about it to this point. These Archons are just so good against Zerglings. They really are. Dark taking a 7th base at the bottom side of the map, which I think is officially Stats expansion, but Dark says, I would like this, please. So he's going to take it. Another huge warping of Zealots. Oh, Zealots this time with a couple of Adepts here at this 5th base of Dark along the right side. I don't think this is going to work out super well. Ultra at the top left trying to take down a base doesn't really happen. But look at this. Look at this. The Spine Crawlers bought enough time for the Ultras to show up to save the lives of most of these drones. And by most, I mean all but 3 or 4, maybe. Man, this Zealot's getting way too many kills. There we go, getting distracted by Ultras. Instead there, Lings running around, trying to find places to shut stuff down. Stats 6th base is here with Adepts and Archons. It's a pretty good combination if you're trying to save it against Ling counterattacks. Absolutely for sure, but these Adepts getting surrounded by about 20 Zerglings, and the Archons show up, and Dark says, you know what, I didn't really want to kill those dudes anyway. Had no interest in killing them. Dark Shrine on the way from Stats. I would not say he's behind, but he is Dark Shrining. Warp Prism for Stats here inside the main base. Somehow sneaks across the entire base, or entire map rather, to get here inside this main base of Dark. He does scout the Spire with this Warp Prism. Good news. Big time battle here. Archons. Oh, using Abduct. The Vipers using Abduct here on the Mothership. Mothership almost dies, but uses Recall instead to stay alive. Ultras on the ground trying to kill all of these Templar, and the Corruptors actually doing an amazing job against those Void Rays. A little bit better than I would have expected. This Ultra chomping at these Templar. Another Templar dies, attacking this front door with Banelings, with Ultras. Not really enough of them remaining, unfortunately. And the Corruptors and the Ultras and the Banelings are going to go back home. Actually, I was going to say, yeah, nope. That one Ultra had very low HP, and trying to take down this 5th base of Stats just doesn't really work out. Moving in the Spore Crawlers to take down this base. These Lings are almost fully upgraded. That +3 ground carapace is just about complete. Another Stasis Ward catches them, though. Stasis actually doing a lot here for Stats. Another Stasis Ward. And Banelings trying to get into this mineral line. Bam! There we go. 12, 13 probes have been killed so far. 78 to 58 total harvesters coming in, trying desperately to get rid of this 5th base. Ultras on the ground. Corruptors in the sky. Lings as well, just getting shots off. Banelings splashing on top of Archons. Not where they want to splash, but I mean, if you're not going to, basically it's all you can do, then it's all you can do. Archons now attacking. Immortals taking down those Ultralisks for the most part. Void Ray comes in, gets cleared out by the Corruptors, and the 5th base does fall. 5th base is gone from Stats. He doesn't have that one anymore. 199 to 113 total supply. Corruptors killing the Void Rays, and that's it. A good game out of Stats. Stats is defeated, and Dark is victorious here in game number 1 of our best of 5 series. Wow. I mean, Dark just kind of won those last battles, is what I believe happened. He just kind of moved in with his Corruptors. He abducted the Mothership, forced her to get the heck out of there, left a couple carriers behind, and in the end, it was 7 carriers dead, 7 Archons. I mean, that's 11 Void Rays, too. A lot of the Sky Toss toast. Those High Templar getting destroyed by Ultras on the ground. Resources lost here for the Protoss turned out to be 26,000 resources lost for Protoss, and about 20 for the Zerg. So killing 44 probes, always nice. Killing a couple bases. Looks like he got the 4th base while I wasn't paying attention. 4th base gone, 5th base gone. Losing 2 bases, doubling it up. I mean, at the end, Stats had exactly a Mothership, an Oracle, 3 Archons, and 3 Immortals. Just not a huge number of things, is what it turns out. So we'll move on to game number 2 here, coming up in just a second. Welcome back, StarCraft fans, to this best of 5 between Dark and Stats from the semifinals of Katowice 2017, or 16, depending on your point of view. And this is going to be a game on Newkirk Precinct. Leading 1-0 against Stats is Stark in the bottom left side. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Stats going that Skytoss build, a very quick Skytoss build. He was able to take as many as 6 bases. 6 bases against Dark, but Dark in the end just had the Corruptor count, had the Ultra count, had the Vipers in there as well for the Abduct. And it just worked out. It worked out beautifully for him in pretty much the one big battle we saw in that 18-minute game. So hopefully we're a little bit more action-packed here. Both these players seem extremely cautious. I mean, Dark's saving Zerglings. Stats not really moving out at any point in that game. I don't think he killed a single base of Dark's, which again might have been a bit of a problem. He did do harassment here and there. He'd send Zealots in, Adepts in, Oracles in, but never really just had a big, strong push and killed a hatchery, you know? So he's got a steep hill to climb right now. I mean, it's only a best of 5, not a best of 7. And a best of 7, you can kind of lose the first game and be okay with it. But if a best of 5, I mean, you have to win 3. What is it? 3 of the... yeah, I mean, 3 of the next 4 games to win. It's rough. Pylon block here at the natural base. Oh, cancels the pylon block, does Stats. And then is super annoying at this point as well. I mean, again, the fact that Stats was not able to block that hatchery in game 1 kind of made a big deal. Like, Dark's thrown off his game just a little bit. It slows down his timings, it slows down his macro, and maybe it doesn't go as poorly for Stats in game 1 as it did if he's able to block this hatchery. You don't know. You just don't know. And we never will. Cybernetics Core on the way. More standard 1-gate expand this time out of Stats. You really can't go Nexus first on this map just because of a huge wide ramp leading into your natural. And if your opponent does decide to go for a lot of Lings early, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Speed on the way here from Dark. He has some early speed out of him. I mean, I know you want speed for your Lings if you're getting them at all. And Dark is a pretty big fan of the Zergling unit, so... I don't see him making any more, though. So he's got a couple Lings. He's chasing down this probe, trying to kill it before it gets back home. But actually, the probe loops back around and says, if you're going to kill me, you're going to kill me somewhere else besides my homeland. I don't want 2 Lings harassing here at my natural base. And yes, he's just leading that Zergling all the way back to the other side. Adept is going to pop out here eventually for Stats, but not in time to stop this Ling from sneaking on inside. Not in time. At all. All right, so here we go. Lings, pow, pow, pow. Are we doing this? Nope. Adept says, no, I'm going to 2-shot you. How about that? And he's dead. A third hatch on the way from Dark in the top leftish side of the map here. Oh, almost gets scouted out by Stats, but he doesn't see it. Oh, his probe was there. Is this probe still alive? This probe is still alive. This probe has taken so much damage, but is still there thanks to the regenerative power of shields. Robo facility opening this time out of Stats. Might not be going for that Skytoss build. Maybe not as good on this map as it is on Proxima Station. Dark Shrine. Immediate Dark Shrine here. Oh. All right, so Archon drops. Archon drops on the way here from our Protoss player. And can Dark scout this? Get in there. Oh, he scouts the Dark Shrine. Clutch scout from this Overlord. That's exactly what you want to do, Zerg players. Time it properly, and even if there's a stalker on the ground who kills your Overlord, you got invaluable information. He saw the robotics facility, he saw the Dark Shrine, and that means, all right, we're going to see some Archon drops. The answer for Dark is going to be going for a Lair, which, okay, and a Roach Warren, yes, I like that one as well. It's just, you need to kill the Warp Prism is how this works out. So some Spore Crawlers are good, additional Queens also not bad either. Speedlings harassing the front door of Stats, but that is a full darn wall with Photon Overcharge behind it. A Mothership Core who is very, very welcoming. We're very open to the idea of murdering you all, you little Zerglings. There. Warp Prism is done. Dark Shrine just about done. About 50 hit points to go on that. And the Lings scout out the Warp Prism. So Roach Warren just about completing now for Dark. He should probably start making conversions like now. Roach Warren done. Production tab says 6 roaches. All right, there we go. 6 roaches in production should be there by the time this Warp Prism shows up. They build pretty quickly. They're not super fast like Lings, but roaches build in enough time to make sense at this point. I mean, Dark knows exactly what he's doing. He hasn't gotten to this stage of StarCraft 2 without understanding how much time he needs to build units before the enemy shows up at his base. It's a very Zerg thing to know. Here we go. Queen here immediately getting shot. Oh, is it just straight up? It is just straight up DT drops. And trying to do, yes, some Warp Prism Micro, keeping the DTs alive. Killing a lot of Zerglings there. 5 Zerglings have been killed by those DTs, but again, Overseer, that's exactly what the lair was for, and some roaches and some lings, and your drops don't do hardly anything to the Zerg player here. Now, Archon's coming in. Stat's going to rock back around for a round 2 here, but again, there are roaches. There are Overlords scouting this out. There is a Overseer here trying to drop, actually does drop a Changeling inside the main base. Stalker not so much concerned with it, but Archons are here. Roaches trying to get shots off. They are getting shots off, but taking a lot to the face here as well. And there's the pickup and the boost out by Stats. Ling here at a third base attempt of Stats. Warping in on this low ground just outside the natural. I don't see a way for Dark to shut this down. Roaches are just a little bit too slow to be effective here. Speed's almost done though, so maybe he can get out there. Warp Prism showing up here at the third base. Queen needs to get some shots off. Now on that Warp Prism, get that Warp Prism, and getting out of there. Knocking down the cooling tower are the roaches and the Queen here of Dark, just to provide a little bit more protection. If DTs get warped on the low ground, they can't walk up here anymore because there is a debris field in the way. I like that. I like the destructible aspects of these maps. Overseer scouting for Dark, getting shot at by a Stalker, but does see the Immortal count, sees the sentries, sees the Adept as well. Again, Archon getting a couple drones here at the third base, but then forced to retreat once again. Dark is just doing this extremely well. I mean, Stats has gotten some harassment kills in this series so far. It hasn't been a perfect hold by Dark in that way, but it's just been... he hasn't lost a lot, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Overlord killed by Archon, dropped out of Warp Prism. Tail as old as time. +1 ground weapons on the way for Stats. +1 missile attack coming in from Dark. Never really noticed that. How come it's, why is it +1 ground weapons for Protoss, but you have to individually upgrade ranged and melee for Xur? What's the rationale behind that, I wonder? I wonder what it is. Never even thought about that before. Fourth base on the way from Dark on the low ground outside of his natural. And Stalker's coming in. They're not gonna have +1. I thought they'd have +1 in time, but no. There are roaches and Ravagers here. A lot of roaches and Ravagers. 23 roaches, 6 Ravagers against 2 Archons, 4 Immortals, 8 Stalkers, and an Adept. I mean, the Ravagers are the concern here. The roach count with this many Immortals on the ground, I'm just not sure I'd be concerned about it. Yeah, look at those roaches die, man. Corrosive Bile's landing. Do manage to kill a force field. Corrosive Bile taking out an observer. Excellent job there. A little more blind than he was a couple seconds ago is Stats. Production tab continuing to show 9 drones at once. A bathing nest on the way from Dark. We've got Zealot legs being researched by Stats. That +1 attack just about done, making another observer to replace the one that had died. And here comes Warp Prism trying to come inside the main base. Yes, there are Overlords, but Stats has to recognize that the door is open here, and yes, dropping it. The drones are running for their lives. Archons really want to kill that Queen, but they can't. Too many Lings showing up, and more Zealots here, making the Archons a little bit better against Lings anyway. And again, the Archons are just kind of kept alive. Warp Prism not really willing to let them die, and there's no real reason to not have them die because the air is controlled by Stats right now. No Spire. No Spire at all for our Zerg player. Picking off an Overlord on the left side of the map is Stats, and then pulling back to his side right about now. Warp Prism moving back as well. Fourth base up for Dark. 67 to 65 Harvesters. Dark has a bit of a deficit there. 7 drones have been killed so far. Corrosive Bile used to knock down this cooling tower. Again, additional protection. Just Dark's not going to say no to that. If you can have an additional slowdown for the Protoss army to show up at his fourth base, he will take it. He will take it. Thank you very much. A fourth base on the way for Stats, though. Stats is no macro slouch, as we saw in game number 1. Ending up with 6 total bases against Dark is amazing. Templar Archives on the way from the Stats. Corrosive Bile trying to hit that Warp Prism, but it moves. I mean, as soon as those Corrosive Biles are launched, they move. Or it moves. I don't know how Stats sees that stuff. I really don't. His attention has to be everywhere at once, but he's able to pay attention to a single Stalker and be totally fine with it. Corrosive Bile trying to catch that Warp Prism, but dodged very ably there. So we've got a lot of Banelings, almost with Banelings speed complete. More Corrosive Bile dodging out of Stats, and Centrifugal Hooks just about done. We'll see these Banelings start rolling soon. There it is, rolling. Keep those Banelings rolling. Oh, it's 16 more Banelings in here. If the force fields are good, though, I just don't know. just don't know about this. North side here is Dark trying to get on top of this army. Force fields are up. Banelings kept outside for the most part. Look at them. Force fields taken down by Corrosive Biles and right on top of the Immortals. They are dying very quickly, surprisingly quickly, but this Immortal count is huge for Stats. He's got 7 Immortals here. Corrosive Biles landing, assisting with this extremely well. Ravager's not taking extra damage at all. Meanwhile, there's an attack of Zealots at the 4th base of Dark. Nothing can stop that. And the Ravagers decide to pull back, throwing more Corrosive Bile on top of these Archons, which are not smart enough to move out of the way, which I'm kind of surprised about. 2 more get picked off. Ow. And I'd say that probably came out in Dark's favor. Resources lost 9,000 for Dark and about 8,200 for Stats. So, I don't know. Maybe not as good as I thought for Dark there, but he killed a lot of Immortals. 8 Immortals have been killed so far. There's 1 remaining, 2 more on the way from Stats. Immortal's going to be what he wants, even though they don't do extra damage versus Ravagers. Still pretty good against fairly large single target units, even if they are not specifically made for Immortals to kill. Dancing back and forth. Here is Dark. We got more Zealot attacks here at the 4th base, though. Get out of there. Get out of there, drones. Run for your lives. Corrosive Biles taking down a cannon and almost a pylon. Almost a pylon. Zealots have kind of shut down this 4th. Is there anything that can stop this? I do not see anything. Dark seems to be a little bit too engaged here at this front door of Stats. Stats is protecting his 3rd base, his natural, and his 4th base. Pretty much all in this one place, but Storm is out. Storm is done for Stats, doing a great job against these Banelings and the Lings as well, but losing some gateways along this left side with the Ravagers, and bam, another gateway dies. Dark taking out a free Archon. Banelings trying to roll in and hit some stuff, and they are exploding pretty well against those Immortals. A lot of those Immortals are very low on HP. Corrosive Biles landing here. I mean, this is looking really good. Really good for Stats, although, okay, finally clearing out the Zealots in the 4th base. Another huge warping of Zealots at Dark's attempt at a 5th base to the right of his 4th, and suddenly worker count 68 to 66. Dark has a lead, but it's not much, and 13 drones have been killed. But again, Zealots cleaned up by Lings and by Ravagers. I just don't know. I don't know that Dark can stay on this tech for as long as he is. It's 12 minutes into this game, and I don't see any sign of doing anything else. Okay, Infestation Pit on the way. There it is. Coming up inside the natural base. Warp Prism harassment has been pretty good. I'd really like to see Dark just make a Spire, get like 2 Corruptors, and chase after this Warp Prism. He's just been a continual thorn in Dark's side throughout this entire series so far. The little Warp Prism warp-ins and attacks, not as effective in Game 1 as they have been in Game number 2, but still pretty consistently good. Upgrades, +1 melee attack done for the Lings, +1 missile attack done for the Ravagers, working on +2 melee and +1 ground carapace as well, while +2 ground weapons is on the way for Stats right now. Immortal count is back up to a healthy 8 for Stats. Whew, continuing to double pump those Immortals. He likes them. He likes Immortals. He feels they are good. And I'm going to have to agree with him on that one. Warp Prism sneaking on in here to this 3rd base. There are Lings and Banelings here. They're not really paying attention. There they are. Banelings crashing in on top of the Zealots, causing them to die a little bit more quickly than they would have liked. More Zealots here at the 5th base again, getting cleaned on out. So again, what this does is it keeps Dark on his back foot. He's kind of keeping a lot of his army back here to deal with these little Zealot harassments, and kind of allowing Stats to rebuild. Yep, rebuilding his gateways here at the 3rd base, saturating his 4th base, 69 to 79 Harvesters. Dark has a lead, but it is not very big at this point in time. Protoss air weapons level 1 coming in for Stats. Lings knocking down the debris, protecting this 4th base, and I don't think Stats has a way to see that is happening, unfortunately for him. Spire on the way, and a Hive coming in for Dark as well, getting additional Lings, getting that +1 ground to Carapace. A Stargate on the way, and the Lings trying to knock down this debris, get murdered in broad daylight by the Zealots and the Archons. Inject by the Queen here at the 4th base again. Injects are going to be pretty consistent out of Dark. I'd be surprised if he messed those up at all. Lings trying to do some stuff at the 3rd base, but getting chased away by 3 Archons. Soon to have +2 attack. How close is that one? Pretty close. Pretty darn close indeed, but Stats doesn't care. He's moving across this creep anyways. This more, yeah, Archon and Zealot drops here at the 5th base, and more Zealot drops here at the 3rd, almost killing a Spine Crawler. Can't quite do it. Did the Warp Prism finally die? Was that the Warp Prism dying? It was the Warp Prism dying. Queen finally takes it out. Woo! Bit of a celebratory moment there for Dark. Lings surrounding the Archons. Archons are good against Lings, but when they're fully surrounded, they get a little bit panicked, and they die pretty darn quickly there. army of Immortal, Archon, Zealot, Templar now coming up along this top side of the map. Some changelings here from Dark trying to get in, but no, getting focused down immediately. Immediately focused down, and the Overseers, most of them die. One manages to stay alive. Regardless, Zealots trying to just manually walk themselves across the map. And they're doing pretty well. I mean, I played some 3-on-3s in my day where I was just the Charge Zealot, fully upgraded Harasser guy. And I would just send groups of 12 at bases and send another group of 12 at another base and just keep the other team on their back foot while everybody else macroed up in this 3-on-3. And it works. It works really well. Stats is basically doing the work of 3 people right now is what I'm trying to say. Tempest on the way from Stats, getting Oracles, getting +3 ground weapons. I guess there's a Greater Spire on the way. So yes, Greater Spire coming up, but yeah, I guess I'm trying to think what else would work here against this many Immortals and Archons other than Broodlord. I guess maybe Mass Ravager might be pretty good. Just like maxed out army of Ravager, Corrosive Vials on everything. Immortal's not really fast enough to shut it down. Right, 6 base on the way for Stats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, that 5th base. 5th base done for Stats here to the left of his 4th. Yes, I am bad at counting. Yes, even basic math is a struggle for me sometimes, and especially when I am trying to talk at the same time. Ling's just trying to find a place to do stuff. Actually, that was a feint, getting Stats down at the south and trying to attack this 6th base at the top side for Stats. That's what he's working on right now. But enough Zealots and Archons are there to rebuff that one as well. Ultralisk Cavern on the way from Dark. He just seems a little stymied is what he does. He's got good, decent upgrades. +2 attack is done for the Lings. As a Ling and Ravager force chasing the Zealots and the Archons back to the 6th base and then just retreating as the rest of the army for Stats coming up to defend. Immortal, Archon, Observer, Scouting, allowing for the Creep Timbers to die, and some Banelings crashing on top of the Immortals. Again, it hurts them. It just doesn't kill them. Here's what it doesn't do. +1 flyer attack being researched. Dark has a set of Overlords down here. They're not Drop Lords, though, so I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. Lings getting cleaned up there as well. A lot of dead Lings. 252 dead Lings at this point. 252. Woo! Woo! Banelings trying to roll into the 5th base, but Storm's really good, and they explode, doing some damage to the Nexus, but all the probes were away, so nothing really happened there. Here we go. Ling drop attempt inside the main base of Stats. I'm liking this. I am liking this a lot. Again, keeping the army to the north while the attack is coming in to the south. Lings, get in. Get on in there. What is your upgrade, Zerglings? Come back here. Come back. +3, +2. Coming up, Chitinous plating on the way. 3 Broodlords in production. But again, Tempest are so good. So good against them. Lings rolling on into the main base of Stats, and here we go. Unload, unload. Lings going after pylons. There's a big warp in here. Big old attack with a mothership here at the 5th base of Dark. Cloakin', Tempest doing a lot of damage, but Lings shutting down this Stargate production here. Stargate's absolutely disappearing under the attack of these Zerglings. Some Zealots are here trying to save stuff, but I think there are enough Lings that this Stargate's going to die anyway. Yes. Yes, and indeed the Fleet Beacon going to die at the same time. Attack here up at the 5th base. Banelings are exploding on top of Zealot. Storms on top of the Ravagers as well. Is it going to be enough? Corrosive Vials trying to hit the Tempest. Can't quite do it. One does end up falling. Corruptors trying to save their Broodlords. He knows keeping the Broodlords alive is how you need to do this thing. And yes, look at that. There's the recall. And he recalls his way on home. But his main base is in shambles. Stats loses his Templar Archives. Loses his main Nexus as well. I mean, not that it was really mining anything, but for additional speed boost upgrades, going to be a pretty darn helpful thing there. Wow, I am Chrono Boost. I'm like Chronology Boost, Chronosphere Boost. So big time attack at the main base, losing a lot of tech structures there was Stats. Ling's trying to take down the 6th, can't do it as there are 5 cannons there. And I don't know, like, are you fully upgraded to attack Zerglings or not? Huh? Get in there. Get in there. Make your father proud. Make Dark proud. Lings trying to do stuff. Observer comes over to get rid of those Burrowlings. There are still 4 Lings above ground inside the main base, though, which I think is interesting. Trying to do this again. The Drop Lord action. Trying to get inside, but the Blinkstalkers say, no, sorry, Drop Lords, you are toast. Save the Drop Lords, Lings. Save the Drop Lords. And they do. They do save them at the cost of some of their own lives, but save them indeed they did. And the Lings finally cleared out inside the main base of Stats. So again, lost a lot of stuff. Didn't lose, I mean, a lot of gateways though. 5 gateways and a Twilight Council are here. So Stats, I'm assuming, has already replaced pretty much everything, right? What did he... There we go. Here we go. Additional Stargates coming up here at the third base. 1, 2, 3, and 4 Stargates all at the same time. Stats going to really afford to do this. And he's not going to have any trouble doing so. Resources lost 31,000 for the Zerg and 27,000 for the Protoss. Stats has another Warp Prism. He's brought it back from the dead, or maybe brought another one in, I suppose, trying to attack Dark's. Wow, is that a 7th base? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7th base up top here. Spine Crawlers making the Zealots attack them instead of the drones, which is exactly what Dark wants. 4th base is still mining, but just kind of barely. Like, there's really not much here. And the Ling's actually not able to attack, not able to defend because of that debris. Is this yeah. Is this the 7th? I don't know. Down here, Archon's finally getting killed. Corruptor count. Yeah, Stark finally takes the skies, man. It was about time for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7th base down here at the bottom side of the map. So 7 bases for Dark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bases and almost 7 for Stats. We're going to mine this whole base out, you guys. Have we seen this? We've seen this before on Newkirk, but I'm not sure at this high of a level. Broodlords throwing down Broodlings on Stats' attempt at a 5th base here. Stalkers forced to retreat as Ultras are coming in, but absolute tons of blanketing storm. Corruptors taking down the mothership, getting rid of the Tempest as well. Broodlords tossing it down, can't quite kill the base. There's not enough support for them. They're trying to kill these Archons and doing a pretty good job of it, actually, but the Stalkers coming in here as well. Banelings forcing the Stalkers back, and Broodlords just doing so well, protecting themselves right now. 4 of them in the sky. Amazing kiting there on display by Dark. Corruptors killing yet another Warp Prism. That's the 2nd Warp Prism that has been killed so far, which is excellent. 6 more Broodlords on the way, and Tempest count is getting increased because currently there are 0, but there are 2 more on the way. So I think Dark has a little bit of a window here to make this thing happen. Oh, killing a Templar. High Templar trying to go the wrong place at the wrong time. The Zealots took him out like it was nothing. Cannon's going to die here. I think all the cannons might die. Nope, 2 of them are still alive. Still alive. 180 to 180 supply. Exactly here. 22 minutes here in game number 2. 10 Broodlords versus exactly 0 Tempest. 4 on the way, though. What? Every single one of these targets we saw earlier is making Tempest right now, which Stats I definitely needs to do. I'm not sure what else it can do against the Broodlords with the support of the Lings and the Ultras and the Ravagers that he has. Fully upgraded? No, +3 ground carapace is not done yet. Not sure if that's on purpose or if that's an accident. Both players spending their money extraordinarily well, as you would expect here. Stalkers trying to clear out some creep, but getting met by Broodlings. And it does do some damage to them. So where are our Tempests? 2 Tempests here, 2 more in production. He's going to have 4 total, and he's going to be maxed out. And is that going to be enough is the question. Corruptor count still pretty high. We're looking at 10 Corruptors. And Overseer flying around trying to see stuff. Does see Stats 7th base here as well. I mean, this is red versus blue. Just perfectly split down the middle right now. Even the creep doesn't really extend that much further past the halfway point if you look at it here. He's working on it. He is working on it on this bottom path, but it's going to be a while before it happens. Going after the 7th base of Stats, the newest base, and therefore the best one to go after. Cannons are dying. Lings trying to sneak up here while everybody is down to the south trying to save it. The Broodlords are pulling back. All the cannons are gone at Stats 7th base rather. The 6th base up top is equally in shambles right now. Ling's trying to get a surround on an Immortal to take it out. Can they get it? Dark Templar here. And the Immortal dies, but everything else dies as well with the Dark Templar. Warpin, excellent job. Excellent decision making there by Stats. Warpin DTs for base defense. And you'll likely be okay. More Overseers on the way for Dark. 24 minutes into this game. Broodlords going to town on Stats 7th here in the bottom right here. I don't know if he can save it. Corruptors absolutely destroying everything in the sky. There are some Voideries here, but I'm not sure that there are enough. So many dead probes, but that might just be freeing up supply for Stats. I'm not entirely sure. Nexus does end up falling, and a lot of probes have been killed. 47 probes have been lost. 47 so far. We got some DTs in here, but guess what? Overseer's in the sky, but unfortunately 5 Archons versus an Ultralisk. The Archons are going to win that one for sure. Lings in here at Stats 4th base. 5th base. Attacking it as well. I mean, this is turning into a crazy macro style game. We're going to start mining out here pretty soon. When players get mined out, they get cautious. They can start slowing things down. We'll see how this works for both of these dudes. Resources lost are 45,700 for the Zerg and 43,400 for Stats. Oh, that reminds me of the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon DLC. It's supposed to be basically a parody of 80s movies, and it's hilarious. It is really very funny. You play as a cyborg. It talks about like don't do drugs, kids, like all the video games back in the 80s always talked about. I mean, it's very good. Very good. It's got a training montage like you want in your 80s stuff as well. Stalker's trying to attack here at Dark's 5th base, but nothing really happening there, you guys. +3 air weapons on the way for Stats. More Void Rays coming in here as well. Again, remind you of what we're dealing with here as, oh no, the 6th base of Stats. 7th base of Stats here at the bottom here. 2 Pylons going to die. I think he's going to lose. There's the cancel. The cancel on the Nexus, and the Ling's trying to take down this assimilator. And there's the burrow. The burrow. The burrow is so good because observers are so slow. The army can come over, and the observer takes like 20 more minutes to show up. And it keeps the army on top of this because the Lings can pop out at any point in time. There it is. There's the revelation thrown down by the Oracle, and the Lings all do get killed. Probe comes in, just perfect timing. Warps in the Nexus on top of the blood of his fallen enemies. And Dark making these Broodlords work, making them work for him. Okay, units tab. Let's take a look at that. 12 Broodlords, 16 Corruptors. Dark sacrificing some drones to free up supply. 2 Infestors, 2 Ultras, 2 Vipers, and 2 Queens. Versus 5 Immortals, 5 Archons, 5 Tempest, 5, 11 Stalkers, 8 Void Rays, and 8 High Templar with a Mothership. It's pretty good. That's pretty good what Stats has. I like the build. Production tab coming back up. +3 flyer attack on the way. That's huge. +3 flyer attack is going to be really big for Dark here. He's got it, and he's got it. It's done. It's absolutely done. Revelation tossed down on these Broodlords, trying to sneak it on in here. Tempest firing from range, losing a Broodlord. Dark's being a little bit cautious here. I don't know what he's waiting on. I really don't. More drones sacrificing themselves to free up additional supply. For Dark, what does he want to make? He wants to make more Corruptors. He's making 3 more. Dang, that Corruptor count. Super high. What are we looking at here? 31 Corruptors with +3 flyer attack and +2 air carapace. Woo! Plus a flyer carapace, as I believe what it is. So nobody has the economic advantage right now. Everybody's taking exactly their half of the map, their half of the number of expansions. And it's just going to come down to who is more cost efficient with your stuff. And I mean, right now it's Stats. So far it's been Stats. We'll see if that actually translates into a victory. And again, if Stats loses this thing, he's down. He's down 2 games to 0 in a best of 5, which means he needs to win straight up 3 in a row to win. And it's just, that's so rough. That is so difficult to do. You don't want to do that. Small group of Archons and Stalkers sneaking up to this 4th base of Dark. Not much happening here. I don't know how much Dark cares about this. Yeah, he's moving in. He's moving into the 7th base of Stats. Ultra's on the ground, trying to kill these cannons first of all, but getting burned alive by those Void Rays. Corruptor trying to get shots off. Absolutely getting blanketed by storms, though, are these Corruptors. And there's the recall. He actually gives up on the 7th base. Gives up entirely on the 7th base. I don't know about this. I don't know about this from Stats. He is in a ton of trouble right now. 5th base does end up falling. Stats gets it, but that's got to be a small consolation for him. He did not want to lose that. He didn't want to lose that, but everybody's going home for Dark, trying to save it anyway. I mean, maybe some... It's just a pretty big army for Stats. You got 4 Archons, 2 Immortals, a bunch of fully upgraded Stalkers as far as attack goes, a High Templar here as well. You can't send a couple Ultras in here and be expected to deal with it. Oh, the Burrow Drone. The Burrow Drone keeping him alive. Love that. Love the Burrow Drone move. And the 6th base is toast. 7th base still alive for Dark. 6th base still alive for Stats. So those are pretty much the only mining places we have right now. Oh, and Dark is taking Stats 7th base. Oh. That is, I mean, that's basically asserting your dominance right now. Got Spore Crawlers here as well to defend it if necessary. Army for Stats says, all right, you want to do this thing? Ugh. Let's do this thing. Pushing back. Creep and then retreating. Never mind, he was not ready. He was not ready to do this thing. Drones unburrow themselves, make the harrowing journey across the map to the new 6th base? I'll call it the 8th. 8th base that Dark has managed to take on this map against Stats. Again, one of the scariest Protoss players on Earth right now. I mean, we'll take a poll, but... Oh no! The perilous journey of drones is met by the Protoss army. Get out. Run. Why, dude? Run like 4 feet. Run! There we go. Now they're running. They can burrow themselves, but I assume there's an observer with this army. For Stats, he's killing creep. Is this turning into a base race? Is that what this is? Lings and Ultras coming up trying to murder things while the big army of Stats is just killing defunct hatcheries. Dark doesn't care about this, really. Losing that hatch there. There's no real tech at all. Stats is going to lose his 5th Nexus to Ultralisks. Probes running up to the top left side of the map, probably trying to take this base that was just killed. Natural base for Dark is going to die. This is where all the tech is, though. If Dark loses his Ultralisk Cavern and his Greater Spire and his Infestation Pit, that's kind of a big deal. Stalkers and Immortals going after Dark's 4th base. Burrow drones here as well. They are staying alive. There's not an observer with this army. 3 more Infestors on the way, and Dark's main army is just kind of... You know what? If he's base racing you, go for it. Let's move. He's moving. He might have waited too long, though. He might have waited too long. He's leaving everybody here. I don't know, man. This is a weird choice. I mean, his entire army is just sitting here while Stats is destroying everything that he owns. I mean, that's it. That's going to be it. And there's the recall. Bam. And now suddenly, Stats is defending extremely well on the right side of the map. He goes across the entire map. And he doesn't lose a single thing. Everybody coming back home. And I mean, there are creep tumors on the left side of the map, but that is it. That is it. Dark has kept his 7th base and his 8th base with his 29 harvesters. But I mean, that is end of the discussion right there. So, are we Dark? Shh. Psst. Dark. What is happening here? Revelation tossed down, and no, everybody backing out again. Let's go. Let's go. Long distance mining here from Stats. He has enough money. I don't know that he needs to long distance mine, but they are close enough to the creep that I'm pretty sure Dark can see this. He can see this. He can absolutely see this. Immortals clearing out creep tumors just because you got to keep that creep to their side of the map, you guys. It's what you got to do, man. I think Stats is trying to get up a bank of some kind. I feel like that's what he's trying to do. Again, dancing. This is a big time moment for both of these players. If Dark wins, he's in a great position. If Stats win, you kind of reset the series. We have Dark ends up losing his 2nd Infestation Pit here at the 7th base because he's just not willing to defend it. Right now, I don't know that Dark's composition requires that Stats attack into him or what, but he is absolutely refusing to defend any of his stuff throughout the last 5 minutes or so. I mean, that's it. All that is left for Dark is this 8th base. And it's very well defended, right? He has a maxed out army, well, 184 supply army. A Stats going to go up. Revelation thrown down. He sees what he's dealing with. Stats does and says, I don't know about this. Ling's going to shut down this long distance mining thing that Stats is trying to do. And there we go. Broodlords attacking that 3rd base, coming in. Fungal catching Stats on the top of the ramp. So much storm going down. The Ultras in the front trying to kill what they can, but Void Rays doing well against the Corruptors at the same time. Broodlords trying to throw down Broodlings on the ground stuff while the Corruptors deal with the air. The Mothership does end up falling. Void Rays, though. Void Ray versus Corruptor. This is going to be the great big battle right about now. Stalkers blinking in from the backside, doing an amazing job against these Broodlords. Broodlings trying to chew them down before all the Broodlords are gone. Corruptor count is still 7. Can they do this? The Void Rays are gone. There are still, unfortunately, 5 Tempests doing a ton of work. All the Broodlords are toast, and that's it. That's it. A good game out of Dark, and Dark is defeated. Stats is victorious after 34 minutes and 25 seconds. Ugh. That was, wow. Wow. I had no idea who was going to win that battle until about 10 seconds were left in it. Obviously, once the Corruptors were gone, that was going to be it, because Broodlords couldn't protect themselves against those Tempests and those Void Rays. But, I mean, at the end of the game, what did we have here? We had 5 Tempest, a Carrier, and 2 Void Rays, period, for stats. I mean, he lost a lot of stuff, but just barely managed to win this thing by the skin of his teeth. Resources lost, 81,000 for the Zerg. 81,000 and 64,000 for the Protoss. 89 probes killed, 63 drones killed, 20 Archons, 93 Zealots, 21 Immortals, 15 Broodlords, 175 Banelings, 44 Corruptors, 582 Zerglings, 11 Infestors, 13 High Templar, 2 Motherships, and 12 Void Rays. Oof. Wow, what an amazing game, too. I need a break. After that one. I'm going to go get a drink of water, but we'll be back with game number 3 coming up in just a second. Welcome back, StarCraft fans. I have gotten my drink of water. We are ready for game number 3 between Dark and Stats on Cactus Valley. In the top left side of the map from this semifinal best-of-5 series, it is the Zerg player Dark, sporting the color red. And in the bottom left side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Stats. Alrighty then, here we go. Tied up 1-1. What a heartbreaking loss for Dark. In game number 2, he just did so well. He even had an 8th base. Taking an 8th base on Newkirk Precinct is just insane. Nobody does that, but Dark figured it out. That final battle, he had it ready to go, but there were too many storms. Just a few too many Void Rays. The Tempest doing well for themselves as well. The Stalkers coming in from the backside, a bit of a surprise. I'm not sure he was ready for. And that was it. I mean, he lost the battle again just by a tiny margin. But that's enough to lose game number 2. All right, so Cactus Valley is a huge, huge map. Oh, but Stats got lucky. Stats got lucky in finding Dark first. But look at this. Dark throws down his hatch first at the 3rd base location. Pretty much immediately. I think he assumed what would happen. And now Stats is waiting in vain. He's like, where's that drone? And he sneaks up to the main base. Says, all right, I see the timing on that spawning pool. It is late, so there must be a hatch somewhere else, and I missed it. Urgh! He says, urgh, as he puts his fist in the air and throws the newspaper to the floor. That's how people were upset in the 1950s. That's what TV has shown me. All right, so what are we going to do here? What's the difference here? Stats has shown 2 very separate strategies. One, Sky Toss. A second one that kind of evolved into Sky Toss, but was largely Immortal, Stalker, High Templar, and Archon with Zealot harassed in game number 2. It was very effective. He killed a lot of things with those units for sure, but straight on head-up battles, just maybe not quite his thing. But again, both players are just cautious. Both players, if they're in a battle, they don't feel like they're going to win, they'll back out. Even if they see it doesn't look like they'll do well before attacking at all, they'll back out. I mean, they really want to win the battle, not just hope that they win. And so if they can retreat, they'll get the heck out of there. 3rd hatch coming up for Dark in the natural base location. Again, to avoid confusion on the caster's part, we're going to call this at the natural base the natural, and this at the 3rd base the 3rd. Even though it was not the 3rd hatchery created, I trust you can bear with me on this. Drone transferring down to this 3rd base very early. But, I mean, the probe's not going to do anything about that. No big deal. Overlord in a perfect scouting position. You guys, Zerg players on this map, scout here. This little high-rise thing over the natural base of their Protoss enemy. Just sit there. Not much they can do about it for a while. Adept running up as fast as she can to kill these drones. There's nothing here to stop this except a queen and a Zergling. So, yeah, some drones are going to die. One, oh, what a catch. Changing the drone into a spore crawler. Another one not so lucky. And there's the psionic transfer. Where did it go? Oh, over here. Taking the long way back on home. So, all right, whatever. Got a kill. Not super effective, but kind of put some fear of Protoss into Dark, which is all you can really do. Stargate opening. And a Ling made it inside. How did a Ling make it in here? A Ling makes it inside the main base. Some way, somehow. And is it going to be an Oracle? It is going to be an Oracle. So let's take a look here. We've got Oracle name Anoilatron, which is what every Oracle wishes to be. I'm not sure if that means to be Anoiotron, but it says Anoil with an L in there, Tron. So yes, Anoiotron, which is actually a card in Hearthstone. It is is it 1 mana or 2 mana? I think it's a 2 mana Divine Shield Taunt minion. That's a robot that says, hello, hello, hello. He's very annoying, is what he is, Anoiotron. So, Anoiotron the Oracle, coming up to be annoying for Dark. Again, you're just not going to win against a professional player using Oracles, so No. Oh, Roach is coming down. Big time Roach attack from Dark. Oh, not expecting this. I expected more of a macro game. All right, so going to try to walk in the front door here. Oracle, Adept trying to hold the line. Nope, not going to happen. Lings and Roaches are here. This is looking super mega bad for our Protoss player. Absolutely trying to kill as many probes as possible. Has 2. Oracle forced to use Pulsar Beam on a Roach. Not great. Not the greatest of things you can do here. Couple Adepts holding the line. Is there a Mothership Core here? No, but a Void Ray pops out. Clutch Void Ray just in time. Look at this. Prismatic alignment going to town. Increasing the attack damage against armored units by 6. And I mean, that is just Void Ray. 3 kills. Gonna have 4 kills. Gonna have 5 and 6 kills. The natural base is still kind of a major problem for our Protoss player. More Lings are here. A Queen has walked all the way across the map to be involved in this attack. She finally made it. And Photon Overcharge coming up, but the pylon does finally fall. Lings flooding inside the natural base. Again, looking so bad for stats. Oh man, a couple Adepts trying to hold the line. Getting murdered though. Lings rolling their way inside the main base. A couple Adepts here as well. Probes fighting for their lives, allowing the Adepts to do their work. And you know what? It works. It works. The Lings managed to get on out. Lings going after the natural base here. Stats is going to lose this thing, you guys. I don't know if he can save this natural. He does have, again, the Oracle, which is great. A couple of Adepts come in, and the Lings actually back on out. Go back inside this natural base. Yes, there are a bunch of probes here. There is a Void Ray here. This dude has 13 kills. This Void Ray going to town, man. Lot of dead probes. Lot of dead Lings, though. Lot of dead Lings, though. And look. 20 probes have been killed, but it is 26 to 25 harvesters. Dark has a lead, but it is tiny. So again, if you cannot die against an early attack like this, you're actually in a pretty good spot. Don't throw in the towel. Don't feel like, oh, I'm so far behind. Nope. No. Your opponent had to cut drones, had to cut workers to make this thing happen, and as a result, you're okay. You're just fine. Anoyotron has 6 kills. I think all of them are Lings, though. She wishes they were drones. In her heart of hearts, she wishes she was murdering drones, that's for sure. And we're kind of stabilized for stats right now. He's making additional probes. Again, that Void Ray, hero Void Ray, man. 15 kills on that guy. Resources lost here, about 2,800 for the Zerg player and 2,500 for the Protoss. Oracle up here, just kind of hanging out by this natural base. Spore Crawler is not done yet. Oh, and a free drone kill. Hooray! Anoyotron gets a drone kill. 7 kills, 6 Lings, and a drone. But Queens are out, Spore Crawlers are out. I mean, time is pretty much over at this point for her. Sentry's holding this front door, and a big warping of Adepts. Just really worried about additional harassment. 2 Oracles and a Void Ray here. Void Ray takes down a Queen. Dude, take down the Queen. Oracles might get her. She's running to that Spore Crawler. She knows 2 Oracles are enough to kill her. For sure, they get her, and only one of the Oracles dies, but this Roach Warren's on the very edge of the creep. Void Ray, even without Prismatic Alignment, is taking it down pretty quickly. Queen is here, though. Is it going to be enough? It is enough to shoo the Void Ray away. Some Ling drops might be pretty good at this point, but Adept Sentry is really good against Zergling, pretty much in all situations, so don't you worry about that one. So Roach Warren is bleeding heavily from what I think are its eyes. Does the Roach Warren have eyes? Are they these gross things? I've always thought they kind of were. They look like a giant head. Anyway, Void Ray, 17 kills. I mean, just look at this dude. He's a master. He is so strong. But I mean, that's the good thing, right? Stats with the Oracle opening does leave himself pretty vulnerable to early attack, but he already has the Stargate. If he sees Roaches coming at him while the Oracle moves out, Void Ray, that's what you got to do. Some more Roaches and Ravagers coming on in here. Wow, Dark does not want a giant macro game, you guys. He's going to go for this thing as hard as he possibly can at this point in time to see what he can see. And there's a 4th base cancel. Oh, 4th base attempted. Nope, 3rd base. 3rd base attempted canceled. There by stats. Corrosive Biles landing, going after the Cybercore. Cybercore death would be fairly bad at this point in time. Again, I don't know why you wall off with it, although sometimes you have to. Queen's getting Photon Overcharge. Transfused, though. And kept alive. Ravagers kind of splitting things out, taking out pylons, gateway down, cybernetics core down at the same time. We have so many sentries here. 8 sentries. There we go. Sentries keeping Ravagers in. Corrosive Bile's landing on everything, though, actually removing the force fields with Corrosive Bile. Amazing stuff. Oh, the pylon has 5 hit points, and it's still alive after Corrosive Bile. And boop. Roaches finish it off with a little boop right to the nose. More corrosive bile hits on those pylons. And again, Stats finds himself on his back foot. It's not a great place to be, as it turns out. A large number of Adepts, though, coming in. He's going to tear in this thing. He's going to bring the Adepts in. There it is, right on top of everything. Guardian Shield is up. Sentries and Stalkers trying to assist here as well. The Zerg Army is not quite sure who to attack, so they're going to try to kill as many of these Adepts as they can. Corrosive Bile's landing, trying to kill the Sentries. Is it working out, though? I don't actually know. And it does. Oh, it breaks it. Stats still alive, coming up with his Adepts. A lot of them are severely wounded, but he's now going after the third base of Dark. What is here? Couple Roaches, couple Lings, some more Roaches coming in. He's severely outnumbered, though. Not looking very good for our Zerg player here. Adepts trying to make sure these Roaches can't retreat and fight another day. And there it is. Adepts right on top of everything. They have a resonating glaives. Overlord's trying to obscure the battlefield, but again, Roach is not very good against Adepts, especially when they have their resonating glaive upgrade. Guardian Shield is up, decreasing the attack damage of those Roaches extremely well. And that's it. Dark with the GG. Dark is defeated, and Stats is victorious here in game number 3, and somehow Stats is leading 2-1. What an absolute flip of the switch there. Stats down 0-1 changes it to be up 1 game against his opponent, only needing to win 1 more in order to move on to the finals of Katowice 2016. Whoa. Stats, you got this? You got this? I don't know. We'll see if he got this coming up in game number 4 in just a second. Welcome back, StarCraft fans, to game number 4 of this best-of-5 series between Stats and Dark from the semifinal of 2016 Katowice International World Championship. Well, IEM, anyway. And in the top left side of the map of Abyssal Reef, we have the blue Protoss player, currently up 2-1. It is Stats. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It is Dark, down 1-2. What happened? What happened, says Dark. I won game 1 so nicely. In game 2, I just kind of barely lost. And then game 3, I just couldn't quite kill Stats with my Roach, Ravager, Ling, Queen attacks, and he came back and murdered me. So, I mean, that's how you do it, Protoss players. Make a Void Ray. First of all, I mean, that Void Ray was king of the match for sure. Make a bunch of Adepts, get resonating glaives. Roaches just don't do well against that sort of thing, and then kind of make it happen from there. Hatch first here for Dark. Doesn't even try to block it this time to Stats. Oh, because he's going Nexus first. Oh, Stats. Oh, Stats, you're so naughty. So naughty going Nexus first here. And he only needs to win 1 more game. I guess you can be a little bit cocky here, right? If he loses this, we still go into a game number 5. So he's like, whatever. I'm going to go Nexus first. If Dark wants to try to kill me, then so be it. But I mean, Dark is going pretty standard here. Hatch into an extractor, into a pool. Really can't do anything to shut this thing down at any point in time. I mean, honestly, if I play Protoss on ladder at this point, and I don't, I'd probe scout like immediately, and then if I saw that my Zerg opponent went Hatch first, I just go Nexus first. That's it, especially on 2-player maps where you can see pretty quickly what's going on. And there's just really nothing the Zerg player can do about it, and you have a lead. You have a lead at that point. All right, let's see if there's an Oracle coming out here from Stats or not. He does have double assimilator up pretty early. Maybe not too early compared to the norm. Walling off this little backdoor attack path. Walling off everything at the same time with a gateway and a cybernetics core. Front door and a back door. Again, it's just kind of a weird area to defend. You got these rocks that can be knocked down to give it an additional or a wider attack path. You have this back one as well that also leads to your third base. It's just kind of weird. Third hatch on the way from Monsieur Dark. I don't know what Dark is in French. French like vocabulary is not horrific, but I don't know what Dark is. Maybe it is horrific. Anyway, moving across the map are a couple Lings. Not really here to kill anything, just more to scout stuff. Stalker on the way from Stats wants to kill this Overlord that again is hiding. Is hiding in plain sight, right? Because actually he can be seen. He might be under their impression that he's invisible to the Protoss player, but this Overlord is totally visible where he is right now, which is why he's moving. Run, Overlord, get out of there. Ling here, Zealot says, get you stupid Zergling, you get out of my main base. No, says the Zergling, I want to see. I want to explore the world. There's a Stargate opening here. Okay, so it does get scouted beautifully by Dark. He knows what's coming. Time for some Spore Crawlers here eventually. Oh, funny story. Funny story. So today I was out and about and I pulled my phone out of my pocket and I was like, what is on the bottom corner of my phone? Why does it look weird? It looked like there was this dust inside the glass of my phone and I was like, did I drop? Is there a hole? Just absolutely freaking out. And then I look at it closely and there is actually a screen protector on my phone that I didn't know was there. It's a OnePlus 2. I bought it off of Walmart.com and I assumed I didn't know that it was used, but apparently it's been used because there is a screen protector on this phone, which I promptly got rid of because I was wondering why things weren't looking quite as sharp as they were in my OnePlus 1, and the answer was because there was a screen protector. Not a fan of screen protectors, you guys. They scratch easily, so you're looking at scratches, whereas your phone, it's not going to scratch as easily. I had my OnePlus 1 out of a phone case, out of a phone cover, rather a screen protector for 2+ years, almost 3 years, and I don't recall any scratches on that thing when I finally had to get rid of it because my son knocked it off the kitchen table. Anyway, lesson learned, if you have a nice enough phone, you probably don't need a screen protector. That is Falcon Paladin's advice. So here comes our Oracle. Oh, did we forget to name her? We did. Trying to sneak around and murder some stuff. Again, with the number of queens out, this is hard, though. This is Skarsnix, Warlord of 8 Peaks. I have no idea what that's a reference to, but somebody put it in the description, and that's what it is. This is Warlord of 8 Peaks, Skarsnix, the Oracle. Taking a lot of shots, mind you, but still alive because she is controlled by stats. If you're an Oracle at like an Into the Void game, good luck, man. Or good luck, female Protoss pilot, because bad things are going to happen to you. Oh, we have a pairing, though. A pairing's a little bit better. A little bit better, but 2 queens and... Ooh, 2 queens and a Spore Crawler. That's enough. Get out. Get out of there. More queens in production. This is exactly what you got to do here, Dark, is get more queens. 3rd and Nexus on the way from stats, exactly where you'd think it would be on this map. And the fishy map. I forgot to mention that it's the fishy map, because it is. Lings moving out across the map here. Speedlings trying to knock down this 3rd, I assume, based on the path that they are following. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. I mean, Stats has done a real good job having just enough to defend these little Ling harassments. There is a Mothership Core, there is a Zealot, there are a bunch of Adepts at the same time. I mean, Photon Overcharge alone would be good. Void Rays out for Stats, already has killed an Overlord. And actually scouts the Zergling. Can't quite kill him, though. Actually can, because the Ling comes back in. So many... Oh, Banelings and Zerglings here from Dark. The Baneling's trying to get out of the range of the Void Ray. I don't think Stats saw that. I really don't think he... Oh, he might see it now. He might see it. Now he just catches a glimpse of Baneling. Oh, now he sees them. Now he sees them. The Oracle's, again, trying to murder some stuff, but... Lings rolling on in here, and the Banelings, what are they here to do? Can they get the Nexus? I don't know if there are enough to do it, but Force Field's chasing them away. Sentries as well. The Queens are here. Wow, absolutely destroyed that Void Ray. Did they destroy the Void Ray? Either way, bunch of Adepts here at the 3rd base of Dark as well. Look out, Dark. Banelings and Lings, though, going to town. Both players losing a lot here in game number 4. 10 probes have been killed, 6 drones. And the 3rd base is in shambles, but the Adepts going to town on everything that Dark has back home and refusing to die at the same time. They're Sonic transferring on top of Banelings. That was not particularly good. They probably should have stayed in the main base there, but again, they're worried about losing their 3rd base, which they most definitely did. So it's 46 to 37 Harvesters. Adepts are slowly getting cleaned up. There's something, yeah, there are still some here at the 3rd base. Look at them go! Look at him go. Resonating Glaives is so good. 10 and 7 kills on those Adepts. What? What is this? 16 drones killed. 10 probes killed. Resources lost here. Blah, blah. 3,100 for the Protoss. And about 3,050 for Dark. Woo. Okay, so 3rd base was lost entirely for Stats, which is really bad. The hatchery is still here at the 3rd base for Dark. He just lost more workers, and he is down. He is down here, 46 to 38. So Oracle pairing here, trying to kill some stuff. They have 0 kills, though, between them, which is not ideal. Picking off some Banelings, though. Ooh, that's good. Banelings, yeah, can't quite get it. Queen defending Revelation thrown down. Taking a 3rd base here instead is Stats. Down the ramp from his main. It makes sense. It makes sense. I kind of like this. Kind of like this placement a little bit better. It's a little less removed. A little less removed, I would say. All right, spreading across the map here, we do have Creep Tumors pushing across. Revelation still here. Spine Crawler at the front of this 3rd base. Do have some Queen drops, dropping some Queens. Here at the 3rd base is Dark. I mean, his own 3rd base. He's defending with them, but here comes Stats. He's got Sentries. He's got Stalkers. And he has Adepts, again, with a Resonating Glaives. No +1 attack yet, but it is about 80% complete. It will be there soon enough. Stasis Wards thrown down just in case Ling's trying to get surrounds on these dudes, but the Ling's saying, no, you know what? We're going to come up and force a cancel on your third. How does that sound? And Stats is bad. Really bad. Don't take down my third. Warping in a ton of Zealots trying to make this thing happen. The Lings recognize what is up, decide to stick around anyway. And they do kill several Zealots, and they're still here. The Oracles, though, extremely good at killing Lings. They're finally 11 kills and 6 kills on these Oracles. Woo! Excellent stuff here. Warp Prism trying to do some stuff at the third, gets rebuffed. Trying to do some stuff here at the main base, I assume also will be rebuffed. Making High Templar is Stats. That's what's going to come up here next of all. Immortal, Stalker, a Sentry. Moving. We got some Baneling Rain attempt here by Dark, but it's unfortunately going to get killed by a random Stalker that saw him heading home. So, ouch. Ouch. Ouch on that one. So, third base is saved. Stats manages to keep that one, which is a wonderful experience for him. Warp Prism, again, just trying to find somewhere that he or she, or Warp Prisms, just robots, possibly unload these 4 Adepts and murder some Zerg. Is that too much to ask? Is it too much to ask, says Stats. Where are our Oracles? They're very happy. They're defending the third base. Scarsnake's super pleased. Super pleased with herself there as well. And here we go. Archons in the front, Adepts in the back from Stats. That's what he's using the High Templar for. Adepts, Archons pushing into this third base. Not looking good here. There are Banelings, slow Banelings, and Ravagers. Corrosive Biles knocking down the force fields, though. There we go. More force fields coming up, though. And forced to retreat. One Ravager trapped. Let me out. He's spazzing out right now. And Sentries actually burn him down. That's embarrassing. Embarrassing. So many force fields, though. Banelings desperately trying to get hits. Finally allowed to get hits on top of these Adepts. What they've been wanting to do for so long. But I think this third base might actually fall. Archon's doing tons and tons of damage. One getting murdered. Maybe not as much damage as previously. Drones forced to defend here at the same time. Ravagers pretty good. Pretty good with their defense, but this third base might just be abandoned right now. He's trying to defend it with the Ravagers and the Roaches. Archon with 3 kills. Immortal with 8 kills. Sentry here even has 6 kills of its own. Archon finally gets picked off there, but still the Immortal in the back's doing so much work. Baneling's getting some nice hits off on the Adepts. And the Sentry's exactly what Dark needed to possibly save this thing. And Immortal up to 14 kills, because why not? Immortals, super good at this game. Third base taking some shots. Dark is backing out, so Stat says, I'll kill your hatch if you do that. So Dark is forced to engage once again, and I just don't know. Warpins here, reinforcements coming in from Stats. Dark's able to get his own reinforcements in here as well, because this is in fact his side of the map, and he might be able to finally push this thing off. But again, Immortal with 2 Archons, 18-19 kills on this Immortal. He's just crushing Roaches like they're made of paper mache is what he's doing here. Archon defending as well. Big warping of Adepts at the third base. The Immortal finally dies. Oh, the Immortal finally died. Ravager, 4 kills, 12 kills on a Ravager? What? You just don't see that. Adepts, again, not fantastic against Ravagers, but the third base does end up falling. Stats gets what he wants, and it's time to go home. It is time to go home. Crap, Dark suddenly stuck on 2 bases. Wait, no, he took a 4th base while we were not paying attention. So he has another base, but he's down 53 to 37 Harvesters. Dude, Dark, you can't win game number 1 and lose the next 3 games. I don't feel great about this as a Zerg player, but oh man, no. The Adepts found the 4th base. Roach is coming out, getting burned alive by Oracles. Ravagers here trying to corrosive bile stuff, but again, Oracles are fast. They can dodge. It's really, really hard to kill an Oracle with a Ravager. He just doesn't have the anti-air that he needs to deal with it. So forcing to cancel on that static defense. 39 to 53 Harvesters. Dark is making 6 more drones right now. He's trying to catch up, but he's lost 42 drones to this point to 11 probes that have died. Stats is making a 4th base of his own on the high ground next to his 3rd base. This is just kind of a weird map for high ground stuff. It reminds me of the picture of Never-Ending Stairs by, is it Escher? Is it somebody like that? I don't know, but drones transferring to that 3rd base. Toast. Oracle's going to town, man. Absolutely. 17 kills and 14 kills on these Oracles, and still not dead. 49 drones have been destroyed. Oracle's going home, pulling back, saying, what up? What up, fellas? Oh, Corrosive Bile's catching something. Is that the Warp Prism? I think that was the Warp Prism that died. Yes, it was. Oh, Warp Prism, not paying attention just a little bit there for Dark. Or for Stats, rather. But he has a big-time army +1 attack done on the Stalkers and the Archons and the Immortals and the Adepts. And here we go. Moving out from the top left to the bottom right. Oracles trying to kill some more of these drones. If this base dies from Dark, I don't know, man. He's replacing his third, which is nice. Corrosive Biles from Ravagers trying to keep the Protoss out, but kills one of his own creep tumors instead. Ugh. He's gonna lay awake at night thinking about that moment for sure. More 9 roaches more on the way from Dark. Oracles checking out that 4th base. What up? Well, 3rd base. 3rd base replanted. 4th base is happy and healthy and well. And Dark's catching back up a little bit. 46 to... Okay, now it's 60 probes. Maybe not. Maybe not as well as I thought when I started that sentence. Corrosive Biles chasing the army away again. Stats really doesn't want to hit that, but killing these rocks affords him yet another wide attack path in which to do this thing. But it's basically a mass Ravager out of Dark with no upgrades on his dudes whatsoever. Adepts trying to sneak in here and see, pulling the Ravagers back and then canceling the transfer. Just so good. Such a great cancel. Storm being researched. Zealot Legs being researched. And here we go. Stalkers, Immortals, Adepts, Archons, killing creep tumors. Really just don't want to kind of stand and engage because there are so many Ravagers out. That Corrosive Bile will do tons of damage to them. 14 Ravagers out there. Looking good. Baneling Speed being researched. And Dark's doing a pretty good job keeping stats away, allowing him to get 4 bases up and running again. 51 to 60. Total Harvesters. New Warp Prism here for stats, though. Trying to sneaking into this natural base. I don't see anything. There's a Spore Crawler here and a Queen. Adepts. All right, Adepts say we have plus 2 attack now and a Resonating Glaives. Killing a couple more drones doesn't never hurt anyone at all. Some army comes back to try to defend. And coming back to the main base again here. Immortals, Stalkers, Archons, and Corrosive Biles chasing everybody away. We're just doing a dance. That's all we're doing. Just a little dance as the Corrosive Bile Death Ball of Protoss dance. High Templar are in the army now. And again, Storm just great against Zerg. I'm never, ever going to tell a Protoss player not to get Storm against Zerg under any circumstances. I'm just not. It's good. It's good in every circumstance. Spore Crawler hitting this Warp Prism that's trying to come across the main base of Dark and unload possibly. These Queens are like, what up? Can we kill you? No. Big warping of Adepts while an attack comes into the replacement 3rd base. Good job by Dark not sending everybody out. It's Zealots, actually. Zealots here that the Banelings and the Lings are going to deal with. Storm's chasing the Ravagers back. 3rd base, and that's it. Good game out of Dark. Dark is defeated, and Stats is victorious, winning this best of 5 series in 4 games after losing game number 1. Oh, that is an impressive victory. Impressive tournament victory out of Stats there. Moves on to the finals. To the finals there, which is a series I might cast. I might cast later, but anyway, oh man, what a crazy one. And again, it didn't really feel one-sided. I mean, for somewhere where Stats won 3 games in a row, I don't know that he just crushed Dark in all 3 games. Stats was on his back foot bad. He lost his 3rd base in both games 3 and 4, which is never a good thing. He was down in bases in game number 2 as well, but I mean, that's the point. Stats is going to be resilient. Even if you take him down, even if you kill a bunch of his things, he is not going to pack it up and go home. He's just going to come back. He's going to use Chrono Boost to replace his workers. He's going to use Force Fields to stay alive. And then just amazing micro all the way around. I mean, 350 APM for Stats and 380 for Dark throughout this game. Resources lost here, about 15,000 for the Protoss and about 17,000 for the Zerg. Not a huge difference. Again, it just came down to little battles, just little micro decisions here and there, and just Stats not giving up, keeping it up, keeping the attacks on Dark all that he possibly could. So well done by Stats on that one, and that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.